welcome to Cindy Meyer's free tutorials. Today I would like to share something with you. I'd like to address something, and that is what's really important to me. If I'm your teacher, I want you to do the moves right in a way that you are dancing safe, that your body is safe. Okay, so it's really important for me that you know about the belly dance posture. Very important. And the other thing is that everything that I teach you when we're going through the basic moves, which are also in my channel, in my Crash Course for Beginners channel, it's very important that you take in the information that I give you, because if you're doing moves wrong, you can damage your body and you could hurt as well. And we really would like to avoid that. We want you to enjoy the dancing, we want you to evolve in your dancing, and we want you to do it right and safe. Okay, so there are two things that I would like to bring up, because what's really important to me is that you're doing the moves right, which means that you are controlling the moves. Okay, so you control the moves that your body are doing, but you're not forcing them. Now, sometimes it seems that a dancer is very good in isolations and they do them really big, like a big isolation or like a big move, and you think like, wow, that's really good. In reality, that's not necessarily the case. The case may be that they're actually doing it wrong, which may actually cause some damage to the body. Okay, so there are three things in particular that I would like to address on this one. One is the chest lift, okay? So the chest lift really is your rib cage that is moving, right? And you're bringing it up. Now I've had several students by now actually who are using the muscles to push up, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, but if you're only using the muscles to push up your chest, then the move looks very subtle, okay? Because you're pushing up with the muscles here. But what you really want to get a bigger range is you want to push up from the actual rib cage. You want to use the rib cage. So you're pushing from back here, right? Now, can you see that my shoulders are completely left alone? My shoulders are not helping. This is coming from the rib cage. The minute you're adding the arms and you're trying to force it to make it bigger, it actually impacts or may impact your lower back. Because if you're pushing back at the same time as you're pushing up and out, you're forcing the move. Okay, so it's not necessarily a good thing. So you want to lift and you want to do it safely. So it comes from here. But you don't want to also push back and forward. That's forcing your body to do a different kind of move. Okay, so if you're doing that a lot, then it may actually really impact your body and the health of your body and the state that you're in. Okay, and we don't want you to having to stop doing the dance because you're overdoing, you're forcing the moves, and then ultimately, unfortunately, that may have a negative impact on your body. Okay, so do it safely. It's not about how big and extended you can do it, as long as it's neat. It can still have a really nice impact. The same thing when you're starting with a slide and you may be very shallow with it, that's fine, and it will grow as you go, right? But you don't want to start doing the wrong move to make it bigger, right? Now the other thing is the hip bump, okay? Now you want to really bump to the side, okay? This is where the bump goes to. You're shifting your weight in your legs and you're bumping out to the side, okay? So if you're seeing the side on, then all you see is a little bit moving. Now a side bump doesn't really work that well toward the audience. It's much better sideways because obviously you can see it moving. Now what I have seen in class is this. People pushing their booty out and bumping backward, okay? It's not really good. Okay, so you want to stagger, you want to protect your lower back by engaging your core, and you want to bump sideways, okay? Then you're in a lot more control. If you're letting this loose, if you're not engaged and you're here, and you're bumping from here to there, then that's not a hip bump, okay? So you really want to control it, where it's going. And always make sure that you're engaged for that, so that you are protected and that you can dance for longer, okay, and stay safe. The other thing is the ummy, okay? So the ummy is a very nice and gooey move, okay? And it stays quite contained, right? That's what makes it so fantastic. It looks best front on, because that's where it happens. Sideways, not so much, but you can see that it stays here. Now, what I don't want to see in my students is this. Okay, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm like pushing back, right? And that is not an ummy. That is not the right move, okay? So it may look quite nice when people do that, but the reality is, because it is not the correct way of doing it, again, you're not engaged. So if you're doing it this way and you're pushing out, then unfortunately, again, it's too much stress on the lower back, okay? So you really want to have the core engaged, and then you draw the circle internally. So you're keeping it very, very nice and neat, okay? So you're bringing it up, in, that's the tucking under, as you can see here. You're bringing it up, you simply release. There's none of that happening, okay? Now, as a pose, it's always really nice, but doing the ummy like this, it may look really, really nice and fancy, but again, you want to make sure that you have the right protection when you're dancing, and again, the moves are controlled, okay? Same thing again with the lift. Make it a chest lift. Don't make it this, okay? This is really bad. I can actually feel that as I'm doing that in my shoulder blades, and because when you're rotating like this as well, it's like you're forcing the move. And yeah, if you're my student and I'm your teacher, then I much rather have you do it the protected way, because I'd like to see you in class longer. Okay, so these are just the little nuggets, and if you want to go over the basics, it's never too late to go over the basics, even if you're already, you know, intermediate or improver or even advanced. It's always good to go back to the basics and just check if you have developed any bad habits, and if you want to correct them. It's very important that you look after your body, do the moves right, in a way that your body stays safe. And yeah, that's all I really would like to say this year before we move into the next year. So that's just a little nugget, a little tutorial addition that I would like to share with you. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next term, next year. Have a wonderful festive season, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care, bye bye.